Hello and welcome to a new episode of Simple Stories Theater with your host, Joshua Moots. And my cat is annoying me because she keeps entering and not entering my room. And I wish I could close the door, but I can't for circumstances you shall never understand. Anyway, for this new episode of Simple Stories Theater, we bring you a new segment that I like to call Random Item Spotlight. And this random item of the day is bowls. Yes, bowls. Why are bowls important? Well, they can do many things. They can soar through the air. If you make them soar, you can hold your food. Then you can go nom, 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 nom. You can wear it as a hat on your head. And you can even make it so you have two hats. Woo! Two hats. Yay! And, of course, you can use it to hide your shame when you do something really stupid. Aw, I don't want the world to see me anymore. And that's about it for bowls. So go get yourself a bowl today, whether it be blue, red, pink, green, yellow, or orange. So yes, that was our random item of the day. So let's get right to the story. And what is our story going to be about today, you may ask? Well, today it's going to be a classic story of princes and princesses, except there's not going to be a prince, but there's going to be warriors and dragons and all of those nice things. And so, today I bring you Spiky Edge, the name of our story. Once upon a time, in a children's diary, he wrote of mystical adventures and lands beyond your wildest dreams. Yes, and the persona that this boy took in his stories was Edge, the magnificent warrior, who wielded the mighty sword of edginess because it had an edge, a spiky edge, so he could poke and stab things, like boop, boop, boop. But what was important about Edge was his armor, which could rapidly grow spikes right out of it. So anything that was running towards him could pull out a spikes out of his suit and then get lodged into him and go, "Oh, I'm dying because it hurts so much." And he'd be like, "Well, he shouldn't have ran at me. I wouldn't have pulled out my spikes and you wouldn't be dying." But they probably wouldn't care because they'd be dying. Anyway, one day, Edge was at his home with his fiancée, the Princess Pattiecake, because that's the name I came up with right now. And while he was at home with Princess Pattiecake, he was making her some waffles, because it was the morning, and they had just woken up. And he was busy making the waffles. She was like, "Edge, when are you going to get done with the waffles? I'm starving." And Edge is like, "Calm down, woman. I am making you your waffles. And once I'm done with the waffles, you can eat them, and then we can both get on with our day. Because nothing's gonna go wrong today. Today's too awesome to have anything go wrong." And she's like, "Yeah, you're right. I'm just gonna go to my normal job being a princess, lying to everyone in the village and saying that everything's okay, even though our economy is collapsing." And Edge is like, "That a girl. Wait, why am I not a prince if you're my fiancé and you're a princess?" She's like, "'Cause I'm the one who decides that, and you don't get to be a prince until you marry me." And Edge was like, "Wait, wouldn't that make me the king, though?" She's like, "No. You can become a king when you're, I don't know, like 70. It's like, "I'm not even sure if I'll live that long." And she was like, "Well, better live that long then. Otherwise, you don't get to be no king." And I was like, "Fine, fine, fine." And so they were continuing to make the waffles and could devour them. But before they could devour them, a dragon showed up on their house, and it peered through the window and went, "Roar!" And Princess Pattiecake was like, "Oh no, a dragon! Get it, Edge, get it! Swap it with the fly swatter." And Edge was like, "Woman, a fly swatter is not going to kill a dragon. I must get my sword. Now you stay put, and I shall get my sword from upstairs." So he ran upstairs as fast as he could, grabbed his sword, came back downstairs, but unfortunately by that time, the dragon had took her. Yeah, Edge is kind of a moron. If yeah. So, anyways, as he saw that the dragon was flying away through the window, he's like, oh, come on. Now I have to work today. And today was my day off from adventuring. And so, he went to his door, he curve stomped it open, and he ran full force to the dragon's temple. Because this dragon usually kidnapped princesses. They weren't sure why they never killed them, but oh well. Sorry. Anyway, as Edge was nearing the dragon's temple, he came across a giant, fat, humongous fairy that was blocking his path. And he's like, "Fairy, you get out of my way, otherwise I will poke you with my sword, and you will deflate like a balloon, because that's how physics work in this world." And the fairy's like, "Oh, I'm not going to get out of your way." And Edge was like, "Why not?" She was like, "I'm too fat." And Edge was like, that brings up another question. Are you a boy or a girl? And the fairy's like, "Obviously I'm a girl." And Edge was like, "Ew, I'm just gonna climb over you." And so he activated his spike armor, and he jumped right onto the fat fairy and lodged himself on her. And she was like, and she started bleeding. And he dislodged himself and used his sword and stabbed it into her and used it to climb further up. And he repeated this process until he was finally at the top of the fat fairy, and the fat fairy was dying horribly. And then he just jumped off her shoulders onto the other side, and he was like, "See you later, fat fairy. Hopefully you don't die." And she was like, and Edge kept running to the dragon's temple. And he finally got to it. But before he could enter the dragon's temple, there was a door in his way, and this door was not any other it wasn't an ordinary door. This door could talk, and it could see with its mighty eye in the middle of the door. And it was like, "What do you want, Edge? You come here every week, and you never give me any of the waffles that I deserve. You give your princess waffles, but you never give me waffles. We know your waffles are legendary in this land. I just want some waffles, please." And Edge was like, "I can't give you waffles, door, because I didn't finish the waffles, because your stupid dragon took the princess before I was done. So if you're going to blame anyone on not getting waffles, it should be on the dragon." And the door was like, "Can you please just give me some waffles?" And Edge was like, "Okay, I'm not taking your bullshit anymore." Stab in the eye, and it went, "Oh!" And eye fluids went all over the place, and it got on Edge. It was like, "Ugh." But at least the door was dead now, so he could open it, because the only way to unlock him was to kill him. And after he got through the door, he scaled the tower until he finally got to the top. He curve stomped the second door right open, and he charged in, and he got up to the dragon. He's like, "Dragon, you better release the princess, otherwise I'm probably going to stab you with my sword, and then stab you with my spiky armor that shoots spikes out of it." And the dragon was like, "No, you shall not do that." And Edge was like, "Why wouldn't I do that? You have my princess. I love her very much." And Princess Pattiecake was like, "Oh, Edge, I love you too." But then the dragon was like, and he ate the princess whole. And Spike was like, "No, Princess Pattiecake." And the dragon was like, "Don't you understand, Edge?" And Edge was like, "What are you talking about, dragon? If you don't explain yourself in the next 5 seconds, I'm going to kill you right here, right now, and I'm going to avenge Princess Pattiecake and the whole land, because you keep stealing princesses, and that is just not cool, man." And I need to catch my breath, because you just make me so angry. And the dragon was like, well, I was going to explain that Princess Pattiecake was your mother the whole time. And Edge was like, wait, what? What? And the dragon was like, yes, you were about to marry your mother. Do you really want to live with that? And Edge was like, you're lying to me, aren't you? Because that sounds like a blatant lie. And the dragon was like, no, look at your family history on this scroll, Edge. Edge looked at his family history, and he saw a branch, and indeed, above him on the family branch was Princess Pattiecake, who was his mother. And Edge was like, how could she lie to me this whole time? And the dragon was like, she's a freak, Edge. Oh, she's just a really, really horrible freak. If you should love anyone, you should love me. And Edge was like, ew, why would I ever love a dragon? And the dragon was like, because I like waffles. And Edge was like, oh, well, if you like waffles, that's a whole different story. Okay. I guess we could be boyfriend and girlfriend then, dragon. And dragon was like, really? Yay! And Edge and the dragon, they got together, and they lived happily ever after. Edge making the dragon waffles every day, and the dragon ate them, and it was just beautiful. They lived in the dragon's temple for the rest of their lives, and they lived in peace and poverty, since the dragon was no longer stealing princesses, because Edge obviously eventually married her. And it was all good. And that is the end of Spiky Edge. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Simple Stories Theater. And do not forget, our random item of the day is bowls. Bowls are important. Bowls are what hold your waffles, so you can give them to the dragon so they won't steal princesses. So if you ever need to, well, do that, then get yourself a bowl. Varying prices in different places. $5.99 here. If you want a bowl, you can pay $5.99 to Joshua Motes at Random Place Street 491265. Not really. Don't send me money. And that's not our real address anyway. Anyway, goodbye. Hope you have a good day. I love you all.